Welcome in live on a Football Friday. It's the PHNX Cardinals podcast, your premier #1 in the world Arizona Cardinal podcast. Like and subscribe. Leave us a 5-star wherever you get your programming. I'm Johnny. He's Bo, Studio K, and of course Noah behind the Mac. And it feels oddly familiar. 3 years ago, we were doing podcasts in an offseason when they were labeled the Arizona Cardinals the worst team in the NFL. Power rankings are out, Bo. The consensus is obvious. Cardinals with Monty back where they started.
They were. It's unfortunate. If you look through the years, you don't see like the progression that you wanted to see after 23. 23, we were all in. It's like, this is a necessary evil. No free agents, no marquee free agents. The draft is going to be a banger. It's going to start to lay the foundation. And here we sit, 4 off seasons later, and in the exact same spot for the Arizona Cardinals, 32nd overall in 23, 32nd overall in 26. In between, when you look at it, I pulled these. I was looking at their post-free agent frenzy breakdowns of the Arizona Cardinals. Like the best we had it, Johnny, so far under Monti Ossenfort is 19th. A fraudulent 19th, albeit. Once they hit the regular season began and the wheels quickly fell off. That was going into last year. After 23 into 24, 26th overall post-free agency, because we knew how disastrous that free agency was, despite, it being a pivotal offseason for the Cardinals. But that everybody's like, okay, it's fine. We got the 12 draft picks. We got all those top 100 selections. Those are going to be where this roster is built. But no, it hasn't turned out that way. And the Cardinals, it's not even like an exciting roller coaster ride. Like the peaks and the valleys, it's like you started down in the valley and you got you went up to like the side of an anthill, and then you went right back down. You didn't even get to the top of the mountain or close to it. And I think that's where everybody's kind of area of contention is with Monti Ossenfort, who was held over after the coaching change.
Yeah, I get it. Some people on Twitter where, we made folks aware. Bo had pulled this and I threw it up on Twitter where it just Cardinals are last. And it's not about off-season power rankings. It's about the perception of this team, which, by the way, while you were speaking, Bo, I pulled up week 11 because I'm a sicko and I wanted to see this of 2024 when the Cardinals had won 4 straight games. They had made it to 10th in the power rankings.
Wow.
That is the crescendo of the Ossenfort era. Week 11, 2024, early November, Cardinals on a 4-game win streak propelled them to
raise the banner.
That's right. Get the banner ready. Cardinals have emerged as contenders in the NFC West, rising to 10th after a 4-game winning streak and solid coaching. And then legitimately, since then, they finished 2-5 to end that season. And then last season, they went, 3-14? Yeah. Since that point, they are 5-19. My God.
I apologize to the Cardinals fans out there that have had to endure that. I remember doing the bye week show and we were predicting what the Cardinals were going to do after that in the final 7 weeks of the season.
They were like 75% chance to make the playoffs.
It was the easy part of their schedule, and they go 2-5 down the stretch. And little to a lot of people's knowledge, that's when at least decision makers started to sour at the quarterback position. That was the beginning of the end of Kyler Murray, but there weren't a whole lot of moves made that offseason as far as trying to fix the offense that sputtered down the stretch. Of course, Petzing stayed in his role, and they were just set with Kyler Murray. They brought in, the 25 quintessential backup in Jacoby Brissett. Now he seems like he's going to be the Cardinal starter. But you're right. I mean, this isn't about if you want to go back and forth, like, are the Cardinals the worst team in the league? Like I'm with Johnny Venerable. I'm with a lot of you where I disagree that they're 32nd out of 32 NFL teams. But this is a quarterback league, and the Cardinals have the worst clarity as far as the quarterback position in the entire league. And as far as the perception of the Cardinals right now, coming off a 3-14 season, cutting Kyler Murray and adding Gardner Minshew, is that this is a bad product. That is the perception. The worst that the league has to offer. Now, you can go back and forth, pound per pound, roster versus Jets versus Dolphins versus the other teams in that conversation. But as far as how they are received from the rest of the league, they are saying they view as the bottom of the NFL.
And I think where Bo and I have the biggest issue with local tankers, not fans, because fans can think what they want, but when local media spews propaganda suggesting that you should be okay with enduring another losing season, not just losing season, a historically bad season, a shield your eyes, shield your kids season. Every Sunday you're getting blown out in tune of a 4-13, 3-14 finish. Like, in what world should this regime be allowed to do that? There's no reality. And this, unlike 2023, when like they were the worst team on paper, they had no redeemable qualities. We didn't know about Trey McBride yet. You know, Buda and James Conner were getting older. They were a team that had been, the candle had been lit at both ends by Steve Keim. And so, like, we got it. We understood the assignment. Cut DeAndre Hopkins. I don't like it. I get it. You do it for the greater good. Similar thing is happening in Miami, albeit they're coming off semi-run of success, 7-10 last year, but multiple playoff appearances. And now they're like, okay, we got to take one season. We got to take a step back. You don't get two rebuilds under the same general manager. This is the power ranking from Eric Edholm from NFL.com, who in particular does not like the Cardinals. By the way, Fox Sports has the Cardinals 32nd. PFF, Bo, has them 31st, only in front of the Jets. Eric's saying, and I'll paraphrase, he likes the Cardinal free agents, but it's hard to ignore the big picture. Blah, blah, blah. The offensive line remains unfinished, and they need some reinforcements defensively. Like, who doesn't in the NFL, right? Who couldn't use some reinforcements on both of their lines of scrimmage? But here's the caveat. Here's why the Cardinals are last, synonymously with every outlet worth a damn. Quarterback right now is a mystery. Right now, it's Jacoby Brissett and Gardner Minshew, and who knows? It's a draft. It's a draft QB such as Alabama's Ty Simpson tempts them. The Cardinals might have to pull the trigger. Waiting until 2027 to solve that problem could guarantee another last place finish. But then again, it might take a miracle to get out of the basement of the NFC West, so on and so forth. So like that to me, when you think about where people view this franchise, if you're Walter Nolan, if you're Will Johnson, if you're Marv, if you're Trey McBride, like, we like those players. We think those players are going to have good seasons. Their names and their reputations and their play style, everything gets dragged down because the Cardinals willingly, and I can't emphasize this enough, willingly wet the bed on even being competent from a national perspective at the most important position in pro sports.
And it's been complacency or even less than that for the last now going 4 years, right? And I think, and I'll agree with this idea that 2027 gives you the best bet in the long term to figure out your quarterback position, but that is still unacceptable given just how we got here and what this fan base has endured, what they've been exposed to, what the win-loss record is. It's 15-36. Before that, it was just 4 wins. It's 19 wins over the last 4 seasons. And you're saying, hey, be patient.
Yeah.
Waiting's the hardest part. We understand that. Tom Petty, he rules, man. Great song. But we're asking for a 5th straight season of under 500 football, probably significantly. And we are also not going to provide any type of excitement at that position. We're actually going to take it away. And as far as our replacement, and like also the approach this offseason, you said, okay, you're moving off Gannon. It's a nightmarish coaching search, which kind of took away the ability to kind of earn back some from the fan base. And then it's like, okay, you're moving off Kyler Murray. All right, what are you going to do to help this roster overcome just unceremoniously cutting ties with your quarterback after 7 seasons? And the response has been Gardner Minshew and roster maintenance type moves, not anything that would show true signs of, hey, we're trying to figure this out and we're going to, like, no stone's going to go unturned and we're going to get creative. No, we're just going to stay steady. And the previous plan that failed, it's moving forward is an extension of that previous plan. And I think the fan base has every right to reject that and be unhappy with it.
You know, I don't like calling people out on this podcast, and we're pretty civil. And like, I'm disappointed by a lot of the takes I see here locally, but I'm not surprised. But today felt like the first time, and somebody sent me this, and I have a lot of respect for Dan Bickley and what he's accomplished in this market. And I did notice that his stance and the stance of a lot of his peers a week ago was endure, awful, endure, sucking. Now he didn't say that, in so many terms, where the piece that was sent to me earlier today was much more in line of, well, actually Cardinal fans shouldn't have to endure. And if it means drafting Ty Simpson, as Eric puts it there, and Dan Bickley put it, hey, you got to give people hope. And I think that's where I come more or less with Ty Simpson.
Yeah.
Is he a savior? No. But he is in a position where this quarterback room, if Mike LaFleur signs off on him, is taken a little bit more seriously. You've got a guy you know is going to be under contract. I can't bang the drum enough. Like Jacoby Brissett and Gardner Minshew are 1-year guys. They got 1-year deals. Jacoby signed a 2-year deal last offseason. And so for the people who are, I like to think of it like the people who are just now catching up to what you and I have said for 2 weeks now, it is unacceptable to ask this fan base to be okay with the tanking season. It's just, on top of it's unacceptable as Trey McBride and Budda Baker and Paris Johnson to do that as well. Like I think it's so disingenuous, and I'm going to stick to this. And even if they start losing games this year, this is going to be my stance through it all. To ask pro athletes in a fan base that has been so scarred to be okay with purposely losing and like self-sabotage, you're only making things worse for yourself in the long term. Like you're going to lose people that you'll never get back. Yeah. And I mean, like this is a piece from, I believe, SI. And a handful of writers for SI picked the team that has lost the offseason for free agency. And this is from Connor Orr. And while I don't agree with the first sentence, you can't argue this is the perception. Saying the Cardinals were stiff-armed by Jimmy Garoppolo, or at least that's the way it seems. Now, we believe, Bo, that they told Jimmy that Jacoby would be the starter, which, like, if you're having, like, competing narratives with Jimmy's the starter and Jacoby's the starter, you've already lost. Like, it doesn't make a big difference to me. Minshew and Jacoby will compete for QB1, and the Mike LaFleur era seems to be off to a rough start. Arizona is last year's Giants, where we could read the tea leaves and assume players are avoiding the team because of the grim long-term prospects. I thought the team would do well to overspend, as did we, and make a splash at a bridge quarterback, knowing that they would need that person for 2026 and the beginning of next year when a highly drafted rookie would be learning the ropes. That was your and I standpoint. It's like, you have to overspend on Malik Willis, do it, because you need a life raft right now. Like for the people who are cynical of Malik Willis, not the tankers, but the people who are like, I want to win this year, but I don't want Malik Willis. Like, what is your perception, I'm curious, of the team now, knowing that they didn't get Malik Willis, and now people are like, because if they got Malik Willis, their prospects nationally would be a hell of a lot better. People would be like, they've got juice, they've got athleticism, they're the unknown. Instead of like, people are just saying outright, this franchise is done for this year. They're the worst in the NFL. That's crazy.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's crazy that it's bottom out, but I mean, the quarterback that they are moving forward with, and for some reason people continue to say, just watch, I believe in Jacoby Brissett, because he didn't fall on his face. He certainly didn't. He played, comparable football, but he went 1-11 as a starter. He went 1-11 as a starter. That's reality. That is a stone cold fact stat that happened, but we witnessed, we endured. And we're going to have to continue to endure. And for the Arizona Cardinals to go out there and give their, best shot at Malik Willis and also come up empty-handed in this one. And was it also a similar thing with Jimmy G that they weren't willing to tell Malik that he was going to be QB1 if he made the jump from Green Bay to Arizona? Instead, he was given the keys to Miami. And of course, that contract that you would have thought that the Cardinals could be competitive, if not beat, because you had the Dolphins just going into the seat cushions of their car to find cap space. And they get it done and make an array of moves that I probably would switch spots with at this point because of how lackluster this free agency has been. The perception of this team that they punted on it, that the urgency that needed to be on display was far from it, and it was more in line with, a preseason game in August than a postseason game in January. And I think that the idea, that this team is going to go up against the best division in the entire sport, and they're going to be in this arms race, this continued arms race, by the team that does less is somehow going to gain ground. And that is an absurd thought.
It is. And I don't subscribe, and I don't think you do either, to the narrative. Just because you're not viewed as a contender in the NFC West doesn't mean you have to blow up your season. That's such a loser mentality. The Packers made the playoffs a couple of years ago going, I think 1-5 in their division. I mean, I don't expect that from the Cardinals, but you do get to play other teams. We see a regression already from San Francisco losing Robert Saleh. I mean, Seattle's a Super Bowl hangover. The Rams are old. Stafford's an injury away. Put yourself in a position. What a loser mentality that is. Yeah. Imagine telling Bruce Arians in 2013, hey, we're not competitive in this division. You got Legion of Boom and you got Jim Harbaugh. We're actually not going to try. Yeah. Bruce Arians would tell you, go screw yourself, and you move on. I'm not sitting here and overcompensating for what I know the Cardinals' shortcomings are, but to knowing that full stop, this roster, if they had a better option at quarterback, which has been available and will continue to be available, people would take them more seriously. It tells you everything you need to know. I don't think people viewed the Cardinals, even during their losing streak last year, as the worst team in the NFL, roster-wise. They just coaching, injuries, and it came to a head, Bo.
Yeah, I mean, we joke about the peak that they hit way back in week 11 when we were all happier people, going into the bye week at 6-4 atop the NFC West, and that was showing how far this roster had come. They weren't there yet. Obviously, you needed to add a lot more as far as pass rush, and you needed consistency in more areas. But it did show hey, this team is close. This team, in the right circumstances, could go for it. And they took the step forward, but they haven't taken 2 steps back. Somehow they've taken 4 to 6 steps back.
They've started over.
Starting over. And that just shows the continued risk. They just don't want to take a risk to try to improve this roster. They just want to go safe and steady.
But it's not even safe. I think safe is the teams that are content with the Cowboys are safe, right? The Steelers feel safe right now with Mike McCarthy. Just keep the train on the tracks, Mike. 9, 10, 11 win seasons. The Cardinals operating this way, and I'm speaking directly to the team right now, will get you consistently in a position where you're viewed as the worst team in the NFL. I guess if that's what your goal is, congratulations, you've accomplished that, which is really sad for this fan base. We're going to do our best to rebuild, though. Around the corner, it's our Friday mock draft. We're doing 7 rounds today, rapid fire, and hopefully stir up some magic. That and more, hit the like. It's PHNX.
It's a quick reminder. There's no better feeling than getting to leave early, whether it's work, a boring party, or honestly, a boring work party. How about that? Cutting out early is one of life's simple joys. Cashing in an early payout, you can add that to the list, maybe to the top of the list. I had 4 early payouts from our friends over at Bet365 because winning is everything with Bet365. Use that code PHNX365. It's legit. You don't get early payouts if you lose. If your team goes down 10, they don't just scrap the bet for you. But if the team that you bet on goes up 10 on the money line, big fat winner. Happened to me 4 times already this tournament. Bet365 is running their early payout offer. The team you're riding goes up 10 points, any point in the game. They'll pay out your bet instantly. No waiting around. It's basically the Irish goodbye of sportsbook promos. That's unbelievable. New users sign up, place a bet of $10, and you get $365 of bonus bets, win or lose, when you sign up for the Bet365 app today using the code PHNX365. Get that 365 offer. Bet 10, get 365. New users who sign up get that $10 bets. You'll get $365 in bonus bets. Bet 365, where winning is everything. Download the app today. Gambling problem, 1-800-NEXT-STEP. Please gamble responsibly. Must be present in Arizona. $10 minimum deposit required. Bonus bets excluded from returns. New customers only, and 21 and overtime limits. Minimum odds and terms apply. In-app only. Void where prohibited. Been seeing some big-time rebounders in the tournament. Some guys working the glass, right? Maybe get some Window Depot in there. Upgrade it after some wear and tear. Look, now that you got the beautiful sun shining, it's time to take on that project you've been putting off. And the one-stop shop to do so is our friends over at the Window Depot, which is way more than just a window store. They've been serving Arizona since 2002. While they started in windows, they're way more than just a window store now. We're talking windows, doors, skylights, cabinets, countertops, sinks, you name it. It's tons of inventory in stock, ready to pick up. And if you need something custom, they've got you covered there too. Professionals, of course, contractors love them for their job site ready quantities, great pricing, expert service with no membership required, while homeowners love them because of their in-house designers are free and ready to take your vision and bring it to life. To get started on that project today, first stop you should make, thewindow.depot.com, like the Ohio State, thewindow.depot.com, and get started on your next project today.
Big thanks to all of our partners here at PHNX Sports. Mock draft here on a Friday. We haven't done a 7th rounder in a while. I'm going to share my screen here. We're going to jump into the PFF mock draft simulator with the Arizona Cardinals. You can see it there now. We're going to jump right in, and I don't think we're going to mess with any trades off the top, Bo. We just hope that it's consistent here.
So you want to go the distance? Is that what you're telling me? You want to go full 7?
Yeah, and we've screwed around with some trades. I think we just kind of let it ride today. I think we do. I think because everybody, the Ty Simpson narrative, he's not worth a late first. We traded up for him last week. Right. Let's just see if he's available at pick 34. That's kind of where I'm at right now. So we're starting the draft very chalky. Mendoza, Arvell, Reese. Of course, Love, which is not going to be a fun cotton candy pick for the Cardinals. No Sonny Styles, Ruben Bain. So it's David Bailey and Francis Mauigoa, which is the consensus right now among the fan base. Bo, I know you go back and forth. I think for me, like something would have to change dramatically to not go Francis Mauigoa 5 weeks out. Yeah, it's the debate that's going to continue all the way to, I think, that fateful Thursday night of the first round. And like last year, we won't have a definitive answer. I think you'll probably see both Mauigoa and Bailey make their way to the facility in Tempe for a top 30 visit. We'll start to get information on that. I think it's like, do you go with the upside pass rusher or do you go with the safe tackle? And I don't think that there's a wrong answer. I think the other part of this becomes like, what does it do as far as your strategy goes? There are tackles down the board. So could you potentially, I know you're going to play the waiting game with Ty Simpson. So does Bailey. If you take Bailey here, if Simpson's there at 34, do you have to turn in that card and you're punting on the ability to get better and upgrade at the tackle spot if you don't go that now? So you get it out of the way and get your starting right tackle for the next half decade locked in Francis Mauigoa. It's probably the safest bet given the way we're going to approach this draft. I also think, like, if you have to set up Jacoby Brissett for success, barf, then you need to have capable tackle play. Whereas if it's Elijah Wilkinson for the year and like then that impacts like what Marv can do and Michael and Trey, I just think that has a ripple down effect that's so significant that right now you can't F around with it because I think David Bailey is the better prospect. But I do too. But I just feel like the Cardinals have really painted themselves in a corner. Like if Kyler Murray was on this team right now, I'd probably go David Bailey because Kyler's so elusive and he didn't need great tackle play, right? Or right tackle play. I mean, we saw what Jonah Williams would do to Jacoby Brissett. It was ugly, right? So for the sake of this mock, maybe it'll change for Bo and I. Francis Mauigoa, the safe pick. We're going to fast forward here. Did we get a Ty Simpson draft pick here? Doesn't look like it. So just to kind of recap a little bit, after we went Francis, Jeremiah Love, then Caleb Downs, Bailey goes to Cleveland, Sonny Styles, Carnell Tate, Ruben Bain to the Bengals, Freeling, Fano goes to the Rams. That's a good pick for them. Now we're fast forwarding down here. I mean, like, we don't obviously need a tackle. I'm sure people in the chat are giving me hell. David Bailey, now you could have had the kid out of Arizona State. I mean, you know where my mind's going. I think this is a no-brainer. At least right now. I think that this
right. Sorry, you were about to probably make your power statement about Ty Simpson.
I want your opinion because if we're sitting there on draft night and this opportunity presents itself, by the way, Caleb Banks, the outstanding D tackle for Florida, goes 33rd that the Cardinals had a visit with. If this is the reality, what is your thought process as we're sitting there at Gila?
This is the one where I'll accept a Ty Simpson flyer. You know, you take him 34th overall, you get him in your building, and it's a relatively low investment for a guy like Ty Simpson. You're not giving up any future capital, not giving any current capital to get up the board. He falls into your lap, and I think you pull the trigger on QB2 and see what you have. And if it's not a QB1 in the future, you know, it's not the biggest, you know, just horrible investment you've made as a general manager. It's being really given an opportunity to maybe extend your stay if he does turn out to be a guy that can start at the position in the league.
Yeah, there's a significant drop off. I do want to note our guy Benjamin Albright, who's a friend of me of this show, not of you and I, but of some Cardinal fans. He said Cole Payton is the consensus QB3 in this draft. Take that for what it's worth. Obviously, that hasn't caught up to our friends at PFF yet. Cole Payton, by the way, lost to my Illinois State Redbirds.
Wow.
Which, you know, they're not rocking a lot of Division I or pro prospects on that defense. So
not somebody we're going to be targeting here early in the draft.
No, I don't think so. Although he has his fans with our community, so I don't want to besmirch him too much. Ty Simpson falls in our lap. We will run to the podium. Thank you. And now we're on the clock. And it's like, do we continue to layer here on the offensive side? Jennings Dunkert has been questioned whether or not he can play guard or tackle in the NFL.
Yeah.
You know, the Cardinals now suddenly have a plethora of interior offensive linemen. Is there a pick that you like here, Bo?
Yeah, there is a pick that I really like here on the board. And I think it fits in line with, you know, how Monti Ossenfort likes to evaluate some of the prospects here. I really like this edge rusher out of Penn State. Danny Dennis Sutton is an absolute athletic freak. 6'5", 256. He had a nearly a 39.5-inch vert, 4'6", 340. He is an RAS score of a 9.93. Got 33, almost 33.3 inch arms. He's just a massive defensive end. He would have been the ranked 15th out of 2,046 defensive ends dating back to 87. So just a massive, massive player out of Penn State. When you look at the production, you probably want a little bit more, Johnny, but he did score okay.
Where do you see him playing year one for the Cardinals, Bo?
I mean, he would probably play like a 4-3 defensive end type spot.
Yeah,
I don't know if he's big enough to play 3-4 defensive end.
Yeah, I mean, he's an edge rusher for you. He's an outside linebacker, like similar to Josh Sweat, right? To a Jordan Birch, like you did a year ago.
Like a Birch.
Okay, so let's go, Dennis Sutton. Get that pick on the board here. Next up, Bo, what do you like here in the 4th round?
Man, there are a lot of picks that I would have liked if I'd known they were there, like from the offensive line spot and the quarterback spot. You could have played the waiting game, but we were aggressive at some of those positions early on. So now we're sitting here, and there are a couple different players. I like Genesis Smith, but what's he going to play at the next level? Watch a bunch of his games down there at U of A. Jonah Coleman, the running back out of Washington, is a little freakish, but not as productive as you'd like. Anything you're leaning?
Yeah, for me, probably a best available, I would say, like defensive lineman, off-ball linebacker, if there's an opportunity for that, like a defensive tackle. At the top of the 4th round, the Cardinals, they signed a bunch of Band-Aid free agents.
They just had this Ole Miss defensive lineman in Xavier Harris on a top 30 visit, according to Tony Pauline.
Yeah,
Pauline also did say that Malik Willis was going to the Cardinals.
Not a good track record for Tony. We brought him on our show, and it was like, okay, I'm not too sure this is accurate what you're telling me now. I mean, this is where probably this draft gets a little light, and you start to see some of its discrepancies here. Lawson, we've drafted before. I don't have an issue with that. You've signed Gibbens to a 2-year deal.
Yeah.
Mac Wilson Sr.'s got 1 year left on his deal, and then of course Cody Simon is the incumbent. Man, I would love just the best available interior lineman. I mean, like
you'd have to go down to the kid from Notre Dame. Yeah. Shroff.
I think this is probably where I would lean. I don't know. For me, like John Gaines is a free agent after this year. Isaiah Adams is in a make or break season. You've got Isaac on a 3-year deal. I don't know. This draft just feels like an offensive draft for me anyway. Given the investment of last year, do you have an issue with Billy 104?
No. Go for it.
Some depth there, and again, you can't go wrong with a blue blood program like Notre Dame. So all right, so now we're rounds 5, 6, and 7. And I think you start looking at, again, maybe a defensive lineman. You've got Tim Keenan from University of Alabama, who they did play well in the college football playoff. He's a steady player, not too much in terms of his pass rush ability, Bo, but look at all the snaps in the A and B gap, just a true defensive tackle. Yeah, and it's something that Monti Ossenfort likes to gravitate towards. Seems like he wants to pick up one at every draft. You've got, if you want to start to look at some running backs, I think, between Singleton out of there in Penn State and his running mate there for the Nittany Lions, they're usually on the board about this time. Do you want to add some youth to that room? So I don't have an issue either way you go here. I mean, I think a defensive lineman at Alabama, it seems like those guys could be pretty plug and play. Yeah, and then they have a high floor typically. And this team, listen, we're assuming they're going to re-sign Dante Sills. We don't know. It's crazy to think about that first draft for Monty coming back around. A lot of these guys are going to need new deals because that is his best draft. 6th round, top of the 6th. A lot of backs available. I think we go running back here, Bo. I think we just go with our favorite prospect at the position when you've got James on what equates to a 1-year deal and the uncertainty that's centering around Trey Benson right now. Taylor out of Virginia, 1,000-yard rusher, 2 straight years, 5.8 yards per clip, 4.8. Now, competition's not great in the ACC, but it is a 6th-rounder and probably mimics a lot of what you would got out of DeMercado in the past, just under 5'10", 200 pounds. Yeah, I think I would go the other way with Kalen Black out of Indiana. Sure. Yeah, 1,000-yard rusher this past year. Look at that. Bama and Oregon. And if you look at him, some of his best games were down the stretch, as you were pointing out. I think you probably go that
that direction instead of the undersized kid out of Virginia.
Let's do it.
And that's your swing at the running back spot.
And then lastly, let's cap it off. 7th round pick, which Cardinals took a safety last year out of Nevada, Keaton Crawford, that ended up being a nice contributor there. So don't throw away all your 7th round picks too quickly here. We didn't take a wideout this draft. Kendrick Law, best available minimal production, 6 foot 205. Probably not going to go tight end. Or
Harold Perkins was early in his college career was supposed to be a big time prospect. I think maybe he dealt with some injuries.
Who's that?
After that, at LSU, the linebacker.
Okay.
But he fell out of favor. I know Andre Fuller, the corner out of Toledo, but like, where's he gonna find PT?
6'2", 200 though. You like the physical tools. I don't mind this. Maybe he could play special teams. I mean, he had a great year, according to the metrics. And, I mean, it's a flyer. And you're going to think about it, like Keitrell Clark's a free agent. Does he make the team? They like long-rangey corners in Nick Wallace's scheme. I don't have an issue with that.
Yeah. The Iowa corner, is he better too? But I have no problem with Fuller going. Toledo produced a couple good corners in this league. So pretty meaty, potatoey draft.
Yeah.
You go trenches outside of a sandwich pick from Ty Simpson. So Maui Noah to kick things off. Played it safe. Simpson fell to us at 34.
Yeah.
We got Dennis Sutton, the athletic freak off the edge, the top of the 3rd round. Added some depth. Who knows if Isaiah Adams, if he slips up, do you get a guy like Billy Schrouth out of Notre Dame? You see somebody you can plug in there. Tim Keenan, the 3rd, defensive lineman out of Bama. Kalen Black, productive running back, Indiana to their run to the Natty. And then Andre Fuller, a lengthy corner that could maybe fit in the system, or as Johnny said, play some teams.
Yeah, to me, it's all going to be about Simpson and Maui Noah. And if those two players hit, then the rest of the draft is gravy. Although I think Schrouth has a chance to stick. I think Keelan Black in Mike LaFleur's scheme has a chance to stick. Like I feel like any back that's going to be drafted this year is going to be a Mike LaFleur pick, similar to quarterback Bo. Mm-hmm. And then, Dennis Sutton, it's just like, I don't mind continuing to throw top 100 picks on edge rushers, because we've seen 2nd, 3rd, and 4th round guys, Max Crosby most recently, like hit in later rounds than the 1st round. Like, unlike tackling quarterback for the most part, edge rushers can be found in the middle portion of the draft. So you got Jordan Birch from this past year. You got Bijo Jalari from 2023. You hope you get something out of one of those guys this year at minimum. And then now you've got a prospect, the tools he got at Penn State. So a good draft, a meat and potatoes draft. And I do feel like the Cardinals, I mean, like if you could sign up for that now, you'd say this is safe and this gives me hope and optimism. And I'm excited to watch these guys play this fall.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, I mean, it's not going to, just like the free agent class, blow you away. It's not sexy, but is it laying the groundwork for next year?
Is it where this franchise needs to go right now? And my argument is yes. Yeah. Like there's Jeremiah Love would be my pick, but they're not going to do that, right? We know that. So like we're trying to play in the sandbox of what we would do combined with the realism of what Monti Ossenfort would do.
No doubt about it. Cardinals made a signing today. Does it move the needle? Find out next. All right. It's no secret. March is here. You already know what that means. Wall-to-wall college basketball all day, all night. It's the most wonderful time of the year. If you're looking for the ultimate way to watch the tournament, Gila River Resorts and Casinos has you covered with March matchups. That's right, your courtside headquarters for every game that matters, and they all matter. There's not one that you're going to let not get your eyes on, or maybe some shekels down on. We're talking about not your average watch party. It's premium seating, massive wall-to-wall screens, full Vegas style, because that's right, Gila River Resorts and Casinos is bringing Vegas to you this spring. That atmosphere that drops you right into the action, add in the food, drinks right at your fingertips, and you're ready for the entire day. And if you want to level up even more, reserve a table at Wild Horse Pass or Santan Mountain. Those spots, they're limited. So don't wait. Gila is bringing Vegas to Phoenix for the Vegas residency, exclusive concerts, DJs, pop-up bars, surprise moments all the way through April. This is how March is meant to be watched. Every buzzer beater, every upset, every moment. And also get in for our watch party for the NFL draft coming at the end of April. You do you. Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playatgila.com for more details.
If you love the NFL Draft, then this is your edge. The Die Hard NFL Draft Guide is built and based off of thousands of hours of film study, being boots on the ground, Shrine Bowl, Senior Bowl, Combine, talking to scouts, talking to coaches, really getting a feel for where these players are best going to fit and project in the NFL. We're talking hundreds of players in this class.
This is the best draft breakdown Cardinals fans can find. It's all inside Fran Duffy's 2026 NFL Draft Guide at GoPHNX.com. We're talking scheme fits, positions of need, and prospects that are going to define the offseason, setting Michael LaFleur potentially up for success, keeping Monti Ossenfort employed.
All right, so what are you going to find in the guide? Well, you're going to find player comps. You're going to find strengths, weaknesses, physical tools, analytics, highlights, analysis from all across the space, everything you need to try and determine who are the best players for your team. You get access to the guide if you're a diehard, and you'll also get access to a couple of individual breakdowns I'm doing specifically for your team. All right, look, if you want surface level breakdowns, you can get them anywhere. But if you want independent thought, if you want thorough breakdowns on all of these prospects, become a diehard, get the guide. Or you can get access to the 2026 guide for just $26. Let's win draft season.
Hello, friends. Breaking news. Bo had to dip out. So you get me for the last quarter of the show, and I'm on the edge. Here's what I want to tell everybody right now. We got 350 people watching live. Hit that like button. Just announced on Twitter right now, 2026 draft night tickets are available to the public. We did our Die Hard deal. They are up for grabs. They are slashed. They were over $100 last year. They're $60 a pop this year. You get your tickets. You get food. You get some merch, some surprise merch, more bennies, giveaways, so much good stuff going on. I'm telling you right now, this is going to be our biggest, baddest draft party ever. And again, just because the vibes are down with this team, we're going to pick this team up. We're going to pick each other up. Thursday, April 23rd. When we sell out, we will announce night 2. We will open it to the public, $25. So if you're thinking, I'm going to get a hotel at Gila, that's smart. You should do that. Hell, Bo and I just might stay on air for like 36 straight hours. But we're going to be there. Get your tickets now. I'm told we are barreling our way toward sellout. So get them now. And man, oh man, I can't wait to announce night 2. Even though, if they trade up for Ty Simpson, won't be any picks for night 2, but there will be lots of tomfoolery. Okay, so we got your super chats right around the corner. The Cardinals signed a tackle today, okay? Scrub dirt tackle, third tackle, he's fine, right? It was a Tennessee player once upon a time. He's fine. He was a third tackle. Udo Alisameka, okay? He's got 22 NFL starts. He's not a starter, right? There he is. How many tackles have they signed? Well, they signed Elijah Wilkinson, who was a nightmare as a tackle here, but somehow, started 17 games for Atlanta. Now they signed this guy who, on the surface, is already a third tackle. What does that mean? Well, you could two schools of thought here. Number one, the conventional route is their depth at tackle was so ass last year. It was so bad that they're just throwing stuff at it now, which I don't have a problem with. That, Elijah Wilkinson and Uda, my guy, who I can't pronounce his last name, so I'm not going to be disrespectful to him now on a Friday. Those two guys combined should not be, hey, we're good at right tackle. If it is, prayers up to Jacoby Brissett. That's the conventional take. That these two moves in a vacuum does not allow this team to say no thanks to Francis Maui-Noah. What does my gut tell me with this franchise? They have Josh Fryer, who they like and was coached by Justin Fry. They had this cat today. Elijah Wilkinson has been signed, I think, to a 2-year deal. I mean, there's 3 tackles right there that can play right tackle. Calvin Beachum not coming back. They had 4 tackles on the roster last year. Wilkinson's got positional flexibility. On the surface, none of these players should prohibit you from taking Francis Mauigoa 3rd overall. I mean, is this like a precursor to David Bailey? It shouldn't be. And I know we just did our mock, and I think David Bailey is a better prospect. While I think the need is greater at right tackle. I don't know. Just seems like they're pretty aggressive adding right tackles. Now, are they mid? In some instances, are they below mid? Yes. Like I'm not arguing the caliber of players so much. Like if they had signed what the equivalent was of Jonah Williams 2 years ago, where it was like, oh yeah, that guy's going to start for you, even though he was a disaster. That's one thing. But they haven't done that. I mean, B's like, does anybody know what this franchise is going to do? I'm going to tell you right now. They got a lot of bodies. Bo's here, and I'm going to say this, and I would say this if Bo was here as well. They have a lot of bodies at tackle, and they have a lot of bodies at edge rusher. I mean, like, they don't have a lot of bodies at quarterback. I don't think Bain's in play. I just feel like with the issues around his arm. I think, like, in a perfect world, he would love to trade down. I mean, like, Z-Man, I saw that today, and I'm like, that's a jag. That's just a guy. He's not making this roster. And then you like, well, he was a team swing tackle last year. What the hell is he going to be for this team? Is he suddenly the Cardinals swing tackle, which means is Elijah Wilkinson the flipping starter for this team? Zach Robinson was the offensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons last year. Zach Robinson and Mike LaFleur are close. They were together with LaFleur in LA under Sean McVay. Robinson's a big McVay guy. I can't remember where he is this year, but when Raheem Morris's staff got blown out, Zach Robinson was ousted as well. Did a nice job with, Michael Penix and Kirk Cousins for what it was. Did like Zach Robinson give Mike LaFleur his blessing on Elijah Wilkinson? Like I could see that happening. Like this guy can play right tackle for you for 17 games. I don't know, man. My hope is, and we know this, double source, they viewed right tackle and probably overall tackle depth, but when right tackle was a black hole, they viewed right tackle as the worst, like, overall output of any position they got on the team last year easily. It was a black hole for them. It was a disaster. And then you couple that with the fact that, fair or not, Paris has missed the end of the last 2 years. Just hasn't been available. Now, if the games had meant something, that is what it is. So they sign a swing tackle, who I think we all thought that would be Elijah Wilkinson. Maybe, we don't know what Mike LaFleur thinks of Francis Mauigoa, if he can fit in the system. There's no other tackle you would take there. And we don't know where Monti Ossenfort has David Bailey. Listen, David Bailey at 3rd overall is not a disaster by any stretch. It's not as big a need as tackle, but it's not a disaster. Arvell Reese is a disaster. David Bailey going 2nd overall and taking Arvell Reese 3rd overall is a disaster. It will be the perfect cherry on top to this shit sandwich of an offseason. So I'm not going to wish that on anybody, but it's just kind of like a little end of the day, end of the week news drop that the Cardinals signed a swing tackle when they already signed a swing tackle a week ago. I don't know. A little scary. I'll tell you what's not scary. Your super chats. Hit that like button. Go get your draft tickets. We're coming back around the break. It's PHNX.
All right, quick update, and it's important. If you've been in an accident or suffered a serious injury, who you hire as a lawyer really matters. Do your research. That's why so many people in Phoenix call Mark and Alexis Breyer of the husband and wife law team. They're Phoenix locals who raised their 8 kids here in the Valley of the Sun, and their firm is built around one thing: getting the best results for their clients. Their team brings hundreds of years of combined trial experience with several of their attorneys certified specialists in personal injury and wrongful death, a title held by less than 1% of Arizona lawyers. Here's the difference. They're real trial lawyers. If it needs to go to court, they're ready to roll. Plus, I promise you'll receive at least as much in your pocket as they do in fees, and even willing to lower their fee to make that happen. If you've had a serious injury, Call the Husband and Wife Law Team today, 602-783-8841. Follow them on your socials, Husband and Wife Law Team, and also check out their website. Links in the show notes, husbandandwifelawteam.com. Tell them PHNX Cardinals sent you. Quick shout out to our friends over at Surfshark. Surfshark develops humanized privacy and security solutions to safeguard your data and privacy online. We all need that. VPN is like wearing pants. When you step outside, all the important stuff stays covered. And that's so important. Once you connect to the internet, Surfshark encrypts your activity, keeping it hidden from snoopers, trackers, and anyone trying to peek at your business. You don't want that. Keep it hidden, my friend. 2 things I love about Surfshark. First, one account covers unlimited devices. So your phone, laptop, tablet, desktop, whatever it may be, your whole household, all protected without juggling subscriptions. Second, they've got that 30-day money-back guarantee. You can try it out risk-free and see how it fits in your daily routine. They also offer Surfshark antivirus, search alert, alternative ID to give you even more protection online. Who doesn't need more protection? Go to surfshark.com/PHNX. Use the code PHNX at checkout and get 4 extra months of risk-free 30-day money-back guaranteed with Surfshark VPN.
Super chats, hit that like. Over 300 watching on a college basketball Friday. You guys are the best. Our draft coverage is only just beginning. Kicking things off, it's Jack 199, new profile pic. It's your boy dressed up as a Power Ranger in year 1 of PHNX. We did a Halloween episode, Once Upon a Time, the PHNX Cardinals podcast in studio before Bo Brock. So before BB. And I was the only person to dress up. And I was a Power Ranger in an all onesie Power Ranger outfit that I had for my son's 3rd birthday party. That's electric, Jack. Appreciate you. Josh, 499. First time catching the pod live in months. Let's go, Jack. Great to see you, brother. A lot's changed. Let me guess, we still suck. That's right. Can't wait to watch this do just enough for Monty to stick around and lose forever. I mean, this team right now, I'd love to know. We say this often. Bo and I mean this. Like, I would love to talk to Michael Bidwill and like have him on the show and do an interview. Bo thinks it's going to happen eventually. I would love to be able to talk to Michael Bidwill. Because, like, Monty doesn't give us anything. Like, at least with Keim, there was a little bit of, like, renegade to him. Then too much at the end. Like, Monti Ossenfort, what he gives to the media, I mean, like, you can be coy and milk toast, but then your moves emulate that. They're just like vanilla. But I think Michael Bidwill would be like, hey, Mike, like, what's the plan? What did you envision for this offseason? Did you think it was going to go this way? Disaster. Bootsy, been a member. Good to see you, though, Josh. Welcome back. Been a member for 4 months. Let's go. Cardinals have at least a path with their QB position going forward. It might take a year to get there, but they aren't stuck with Kyler anymore. And I think that's the hard part for a lot of people, Bootsy. And this may be hard for people this year because I think there's 2 realities, right? I guess there's a couple different realities, but these are the most likely. That the Cardinals don't get a quarterback this year, and they're bad, and Kyler Murray crushes it in Minnesota, or at least is good enough, and they're a playoff team, and he's on national TV, and it's like, and they're at the bottom. And that's going to be hard. Even for a lot of people that are staunch Kyler critics, for one I am not, I think Kyler Murray, like, made mistakes here, just like this franchise made mistakes, but inevitably, like, do I think if Kyler Murray had gone to a more stable organization that he would have had success? Yeah, but that doesn't come with the terms of being the first overall pick. But I'm with you. Like, it was time for a break for all involved, but like, you can't get rid of Kyler and then do nothing, right? That was their answer. Like the Miami Dolphins, say what you want. They got rid of Tua, who's been there for like an hour, and they immediately signed somebody competent. I don't know. The Jacoby Brissett thing, like, we were rooting for him last year, but like, I didn't know it meant, like, because of these phone numbers, he was going to get a pass as their quarterback this year. Unreal. Copper State, 499. I asked ChatGPT what the temp of the fan base is, and the Cardinal fans are in, and it says, don't embarrass us again. FaZe, I feel attacked. I mean, like, I say this in full transparency, and I believe this, can't get worse than last year. Last year was the worst of all realities because you had the expectations of being good, and then they were a disaster, worst season in the history of this franchise. Like losing, that's why I tell people all the time, like they're going to be better this year. You know how hard it is to lose 14 to 15 games? And for a lot of those games, like the reason they weren't in a lot of those games, like they had no players. And then like, I think the players just gave up. So like they'll win games that they're not supposed to if they play hard, right? Like Gannon's first year. Like the Cardinals just like straight up quit in some games last year. We all saw it. They're giving up 40 plus points. They've given like 40 points in like 4 of 8 games or something. It was insane. PHNX or PHX Eddie money, $10. Thank you so much, Eddie. Asking my kids to follow this team is tough. Yeah, I'm right there with you. When the team office and local media tries to tell us it's okay to lose, what a joke. Loser mentality. I'm tired of this. The people that tell you that are, number one, and this isn't a knock on people. If a member of the local media is advocating for the Cardinals to lose, number one, I don't believe that they're like a homegrown fan. Not that they're from here or not, but like that they have an investment for the Cardinals that spans like most of their life. Like all of us, right? Like I'm not from Arizona originally, but this has been my team, right? My dad grew up in central Illinois. They used to be in St. Louis. He would drive to Busch Stadium too to watch them play there. Like this has always been so like we've seen how bad they've been and how many seasons they've robbed from us. Like this past year, I think it's easy for people who don't have that kind of investment just say, yeah, just lose this year. And they treat it like a business decision. And there is an aspect of that in sports, but it's also like this is an emotional time. And the Cardinals, fair or not, do not have the collateral of a Pittsburgh or a Green Bay or even like a New England recently where they're like, we're going to be bad a season and then we're going to blow it up and then we'll be back. And those franchise, like a lot of Steeler fans, like wanted to blow it up and be terrible. The Dolphin fan base wants to be terrible. We did that. We already signed up for that. It's time for you to try. Yeah, local media who advocates for that, very disappointing. Mac Daddy, 714, $4.99. I don't know what's worse, the Cards free agent class or Bo losing to Connor when on that shooting motion. Really rough. I saw that before I jumped onto these super chats. I haven't had a chance to debrief with Bo. He's kept it from me. One of the tougher scenes. Bo was, played college sports, was a pitcher, I think a JUCO pitcher. I mean, that was really rough.
Bo got cooked.
He did. Now, Noah advanced. Congratulations to Noah. Who is in the Final Four, Noah?
Oh, I don't know. I have no idea.
Noah's in it. Noah has advanced. So he represents us, just like I won fantasy football this year and represents us. So, yeah, Bo needs to carry his weight. That's for sure. Really embarrassing for Bo. Bootsy, $4.99. I get the idea of Ty Simpson, but would it be better than Jacoby in 2026? Finishing the building O-line and stack the D-line, KISS. What if, but here's my counter to that. You're not spending third overall on Ty Simpson, we hope and assume. You're going to get an impact player immediately. Wouldn't it be better then to take a lottery ticket on a talented kid who a lot of people thought should have been the first overall pick, draft him, and then his rookie year is the year that we all endure, where it's just like not fun, but it's fun because you watch him. Like we're going to be if you draft Ty Simpson, we're investing in Ty this year. And the wins and losses kind of be damned. We just want to see Ty do well and show those special traits. Because what happens in year 2 for quarterbacks? It's the pop year. And you can go all in, Bootsy, on free agents, and you can go all in on spending money because you have a rookie wage scale. And then even Monti Ossenfort would have to spend. And Kyler Murray's off your books. If you don't do that this year, then that timeline is pushed a year. Because I'm going to tell you right now, and I think you would, nobody wants to see Jacoby Brissett, the people that are tankers out there, win 6 or 7 games next year, because then that torpedoes your chance to get a top quarterback next year, which, again, it's all relative. Like Ty Simpson's going in the back half of the first round. I just think Ty Simpson, if you take him and it works, it speeds up your timeline. I'm in favor of that. That's just my take, though. I don't want to wait any longer for this team to be relevant. Libertarian Sasquatch, $4.99. My issue with Ty Simpson is hope for the sake of hope. Drafting him in the first round can easily cause long-term problems. And for what, really? Well, you just have to be convinced that he can be a franchise quarterback. And there are enough people in the NFL that think he's a firm first-round quarterback. He is not special quality, top 10 guy. Freak show arm, mobility, all that. He is a meat and potatoes fringe first-round quarterback, probably better equipped to go in the second round, but is being pushed up because of how horrendous this free agency and offseason quarterback market is. But like Derek Carr went in the second round, Dak Prescott went in the fourth round. Like I just think it's bad business for the Cardinals in particular, who already stink and don't have to try to be bad, to say, well, we're going to tank for a quarterback. Like these quarterbacks that are going to go like top 1, 2, 3 next year, like I think they're good. They're not like franchise changer. Like they can come and like overcome the mess that the Cardinals have put themselves in. You think that kid from Duke's coming here and changing the Cardinals stars year one? Like the only one you can make Dante Moore. Like they're good, like solid first round quarterbacks. The only one you could say that with is maybe Arch Manning. Arch Manning's been at like a blue chip high school program and then Texas with elite coaching. He's going to come here and like, hey, we're going to flip it on a dime. I just think you need to start throwing darts at the board. 90s Poppy, $4.99. Odds we put Darius at edge, I think 0. He was most successful there at edge in college before he's defined as a bust. P.S. It's hard being the only Cards fan in Cali. There's some out there. A lot of Niner fans, though. I just think you have to hope that better coaching up front with the defensive line coach makes the difference. Because he's not quick enough to play edge rusher. But he hasn't been powerful enough to play defensive tackle. I mean, this is it for Darius, for sure. $1.99 from TR Hall. How can we pass on all these Iowa linemen? Easy. The team doesn't value them. But, I mean, Jennings Dunkert is probably a day 2 pick. I mean, if they took David Bailey, could that one of those next 2 picks be him? I think so. Jack is back, $1.99. Now let's talk Just Us, Jeremiah Love. I think it's over. That dream lasted about like 10 days because they went out and remember they got ready to redeem Mercado. I'm like tuning up the band, and then they signed Algier and they re-signed James before that. They re-signed Bam Knight. They got Trey Benson still. I think Jeremiah Love is probably destined. If he's not destined to be a Giant, he would probably go to, Kansas City. Some of these other teams, they've filled that need. But yeah, he's the best player in the draft. And the Cardinals this offseason would be well served to take him. Brian P. Tip at right tackle just for a second to see how he feels. I mean, like you took a blocking tight end in the top 80. This is where a lot of right tackles go, in the top 100. That's how stupid that pick was. And no disrespect to Tip. He can't force the team, but they overdrafted a blocking tight end. Just like maybe take a guard or a right tackle. They did take a guard eventually. But like that's how ridiculous that pick was. I mean, there's a horrendous round for Monti Ossenfort. Trey Benson, who looks like he's falling out of favor. Isaiah Adams, who needs a good year this year to stick around as a starter. Tip Ryman, I mean, he'd have to become the best blocking tight end in the NFL. And Elijah Jones, who probably will get cut this year, maybe. I mean, that's Monti Ossenfort's legacy, that 2024 draft. $5 from Ranger. I've said this before. There he is, the GOAT. We'll keep saying it. Better hope the Jets take Reese. Monty can't help himself. I mean, you're 100% correct. 100% correct. And like even I've seen other people here locally just be like, you can't do that. It's Monty is operating in this sandbox. Really, it's like a shoebox of like short-sighted decision making. Really scary. I hope, Ranger, these OT moves are just a precursor to Francis and we can just breathe it for a second. Arvell Reese, 3rd overall, would be a disaster. I don't trust this coaching staff. I don't trust this franchise. David Bailey had 15 sacks last year, 14 and a half. I mean, he's a plug and play. Even if you want Francis, you can't dispute. David Bailey, opposite sweat, leave him alone, right? It's like Arvell Reese. Is he running around with the off-ball linebackers? Is he playing special teams? Like, those are like Francis, you just put him at right tackle. I don't have to touch that position forever. There's open to interpretation too much with these other guys. Josh is back, $4.99. We've all been sweating this QB situation for far too long. The answer has been in-house this whole time. Yeah, great point. The answer goes by the name of Tip Ryman, my GOAT. I would like to see Tip traded to Detroit. I would like for them to try to get something for him. Sorry, Noah. That would be my preference here. Not because I have anything against Tip, but you know what? I think Mike's going to probably run a lot of 13 personnel early. So we'll see. I need
I could
everybody
see
to
Zip going to Detroit for sure.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, they already. Petzing's like, oh, let me get Dortch because he was so great here when I was with him. Let's
He barely
get Zip
played him
too.
too. Greg was just looking for a contract. I need everybody to do me a favor. The link for the draft party is in the show notes, is on my Twitter. Get your tickets now. Let's hear the sound effect, Noah. Get your tickets now before they sell out. Because we've had it happen the last couple of years, and it's like breaks my heart when we sell out. And this is not me posturing. We sell out, and then people are like 2 weeks before, like, I need tickets, and we just can't. It's like a fire hazard. So if you want to go, and is the best thing that we do, Noah, Bo, and I, this company, Espo, we're all going to be hanging out there. We'll even get Damon Dog to come, slobber around with his, U of A championship NCAA hat at that point. There it is. Go get your tickets now before they sell out so we can all hang and party together. And then when we get that, we're going to go night 2 at $25 and we're going to have a blast. This team can't take away all of our fun. And the draft is going to be fun because, if they take Francis or David Bailey, then we're all going to be on tie watch the rest of the first round. So unbelievable week. You guys are fantastic. Bo and I will be live on Monday, pending any breaking news, any emergency pod. Hit that like, subscribe here to PHNX Sports. Keep it locked in for all of our phenomenal NCAA coverage with our guys from PHNX Wildcats. For Bo, Noah, I'm Johnny. Have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday.
We all silly like the mayor.